Next delegation, Mr. Eckmeyer, Uxbridge resident wishing to discuss his sewer bill. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. Close enough? Ready? We'll turn on the microphone, please. There's a button there. Yes, and you have 5 minutes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chair and Councillors, for allowing me to address your committee. I'm appearing here today to request a fair and equitable compensation for sewer billings that we received when we were not connected to sewer and the costs resulting from the region's incorrect sewer records. I'm also requesting waiving the sewer connection fee. Just to give you a little background on the issue, in August 2003, we moved from Pickering to Uxbridge, and we notified Durham Region to redirect the water and sewer billings since our house was represented to be on municipal water and sewer. So this is a look at the, I don't have Jennifer's people to help me out here.
Yeah.
So this is our house that we bought, and you'll see in circle that the services were indicated to be on municipal water and sewer. We were fine up until June 1st when we did some renovations of the house and discovered a septic tank that was still in use. Excuse me. On June 2nd, Durham Region was called, and Don Scott and the supervisor, Joe, came to our house within about 10 minutes, which was a great response time. Joe stated that everything that he showed says we were connected to sewer. A dye pack was put in the septic tank, and it was determined that we were indeed not connected to the sewer, and that the which was that's sideways. So kind of the left is towards the house, and this bottom part is going to the back there. So it was determined that we were still not, we were still on a septic tank with a leaking system and not connected to sewer. After temporarily being reconnected to the septic, we were connected to the sewer on June 9th. In an August 12th conversation with Don Siciliano to recover the costs, Don agreed that we were likely incorrectly billed for sewer since 2003, and the error most likely occurred when Durham Region took over water and sewer from Uxbridge Township 41 years ago. I have a digital recording of our conversation just for my records if you want to hear it, but Don's here, so we can probably vouch for that. Don also stated that a house that is connected to sewer sells for a premium of between $20,000 to $30,000, depending on the municipality. We paid the premium to be on a municipal service when we bought our house from John and Roberta Harvey in 2003, as the MLS listing showed. Going back further, the house that when the Harveys bought the house from the previous owners back in 1997 also lists the sewer. So clearly this has been an ongoing issue, and most likely the region was billing our home for sewer use throughout those years. If my wife and I were to sell our house prior to June 1st, discovering the septic tank, we would have also indicated it was on municipal services since we've been paying a sewer bill since we moved in. Now, the unfortunate mistake on Durham Region's records for our home has resulted in us paying a premium for a house believing it to be connected to sewer when clearly it was not. This error has also resulted in Durham Region charging us for sewer usage when we were never connected to sewer. So although in discussion with Don that the sewer billing records only go back 6 years, Don assisted with providing sewer billing rates, and we determined some, estimated the previous costs previous to 2009 based on sewer rates and our usage. Applying a modest 4% annual interest on past billings, it brings the error cost to $3,237.86. Because Durham Region records are not kept longer than the 6 years, Don confirmed that these charges to be fairly accurate. The cost for our contractor to connect to the sewer is outlined here for the various bills that we received. So this one was $28.94 for connection to to the sewer stub, which Joe, the supervisor, when he attended our place when we discovered the septic tank, indicated the sewer stub with a green line, and he said to our contractor, you can just connect to that sewer stub.
You have 1 minute left, sir.
Yeah. So these are the various costs for it, including decommissioning the septic tank. To compensate me for the Durham Region's error, I'm asking the Finance and Admin Committee to approve reimbursement to me for the sewer connection costs totaling $6,994.97. This would correct the Region's error and make our house connected to the sewer service that we paid for, which we paid a premium for when we purchased our home. I met with Mr. Siciliano and Commissioner Pott to try and correct this error, but there is a policy to only reimburse for 6 years of sewer billing, and the bylaw only permits the commissioner to waive $2,500 in sewer billing charges. The damages suffered to us as a result of the Region's error, and it was the error that was repeated every time a sewer bill was issued and paid, or set out here. There is no limitation to our rights to compensation in this matter based upon an arbitrary 6-year period established by the region because of lack of records. Discoverability is an issue, and when considering the limitation of liability, and there was no reasonable expectation for us to discover the matter at an earlier date as the septic system continued to work perfectly until it was pumped into during renovations. But I trust the committee finds the $6,994.97 reimbursement and waiving the sewer connection charge to be a fair and reasonable resolution to this ongoing error, and appropriate within the utility finance mission statement, which is to provide an efficient and cost-effective meter reading, billing, customer service, and accounts receivable operation, which is accountable to the public and maintains a financial balance between the recovery of revenues and the costs required to deliver and maintain high-quality water and sewer services. Thank you.
Okay, questions? Councilor Collier? No, too many on
There
there.
it goes. Thank you, Chair. Through you to Mr. Akman. I'm wondering, sir, have you spoken with the lawyer to close your transaction regarding your title insurance?
No, I have not.
I would suggest that would be the first place to start. This, to me, clearly is not a regional matter. It's a due diligence matter with the purchase, and the lawyer and the title insurance, to me, would be the proper place to start. Thank you.
Chair Anderson?
Well, I find it interesting that we could bill somebody for sewer that they don't have, but I guess whatever you pour down your tap, we automatically assume it's connected. Is that how it works? Somebody can tell me that?
No, it's not automatically assumed, but I can show you the situation after the delegate is finished.
You have questions to the delegate, Mr. Clapp.
When did you buy that? When did you buy your property, sir?
August 2003.
And do you have title insurance? Did you have title?
Not sure if I do or not.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know, I guess, so that bill that you're showing on the screen there, is that your estimate?
No, that's the actual what we paid.
Did you pay it? Oh, it
Yes.
says paid by check
Yeah.
at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just how much have you paid in sewer billing? What was that number, 3,300 and something?
So this is the outline of the cost. The billings from 2009 to 2015 are what Durham Region's records show. But because records only go back 6 years, the previous records were an estimate that I put together with Don's help to estimate fairly accurately the sewer billings from August 2003 when we purchased the home.
Just to be clear, though, you've added a 4% interest charge
Yeah.
per year for money you paid, right?
Correct.
So it's not the actual sewer bill, it's interest on it as if you had
Correct.
it invested or something.
Correct.
So he's adding 4%.
And the bottom number is 3,300 and what?
$3,237.86.
3,200 and what, I'm sorry?
$3,237.86.
And what is it without your interest? I wonder if I could figure that out quickly.
To,
2,600?
$2,583.92.
Okay, thank you very much.
any other questions? Councilor Ash?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just need some clarity. I understand the sewer charges, I understand the sewer connection. What was the charge from the region to connect the sewer?
I believe, and Mr. Siciliano may be able to help me out on that, I think it's 3,500?
It'd be 3588.
Okay, and perhaps I missed it in your presentation. What is your contention why you should not be paying for the connection charge? I completely understand this issue. What's your submission in regards to why that fee should be waived?
Well, we paid a premium for a house believing it to be on municipal water and sewer. So, in effect, we're paying a premium for a house to be, which we believe to be connected to sewer as it was represented that way. So we've already paid that cost for it. So if I were to pay a sewer connection cost, I'm basically paying it twice because we've already paid a premium for a home, which Mr. Siciliano had indicated in our conversation.
Just to follow up, the $20,000 to $30,000 that you suggest adds value to a property, is that just in Uxbridge, just on your street? Is that your understanding, or is that province-wide understanding? Is that staff's understanding? What's your submission on that issue?
That was in a conversation with Mr. Siciliano in discussing the issues surrounding this, that he mentioned that a house is sold for a premium if it's on municipal water and sewer, and the premium on that home is $20,000 to $30,000 over one that might be connected to a septic tank.
So just before we get it, just so we have some clarity, so what you're looking for us to do today is to give you $3,237 to waive the $3,588 regional connection fee and give you $6,994 to pay your contractor that hooked it up. Would that be correct?
No, the $6,994.97 covers the sewer billing plus the connection to the sewer.
Okay, so you want us
So
to
the
waive the $3,588 and give you $69.94, which is the cost that your contractor charged you for your property piece, and that $3,200,
Correct.
the estimated bills plus the 4% interest, right?
That is correct.
Okay, Councillor Diamond, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, I'm seeing fault with the people who sold you the house under, I'll say, false pretenses, and a real estate agent who published it saying there were certain services. Have you gone back to them?
No, because I don't think that would be fair. I think if once again, if we were to sell the house prior to June 1st, after buying the house on municipal water and sewer, we would have sold it and paying a sewer bill for 12 years. We would have been saying, yeah, we're selling our house based that it is on municipal water and sewer. So I don't think I can fault the previous homeowners, but where the error occurs, and the error occurs from Durham Region with Mr. Siciliano and I discussed it, probably an error that started 41 years ago when we were 10 years old.
Are you on municipal water?
Yes.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
we don't have a well. I'm pretty sure about that.
okay, all right. And no one has ever noticed that an area near the weeping tiles would be a little wetter and the grass a little greener?
No. I noticed we had a pretty green backyard. That explains that, I guess. But no, it was never damp.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we've never had a problem with the sewer for the time that we've been there.
Okay, but your contention is that although you believe the person selling the house and your real estate agent, that they were correct, and over 40 years, no one had recognized that there was a septic system instead of connection, this should come back to the taxpayers.
Well, it comes back to Durham Region for the incorrect billing.
Yeah, and to be clear, I realize sewer is not taxpayers, but to the user rate.
Yeah, I can't, just one thing I might add, Councillor Diamond. When we moved to our place in Uxbridge and we notified the region that we're the new owners and please redirect any water and sewer billing to our name, the region didn't come to us and say, wait a minute, you guys aren't connected to sewer, you're on septic tank. At that point in time, I think we'd have a good case against the previous homeowners.
Okay, so in your opinion, through Mr. Chair, the onus was on the region to know rather than the homeowners and the real estate agent.
Well, you're the one that's sending the bill, or the region is the one that's sending the bill. That's where the error occurred.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Chair?
Did you get legal advice that you couldn't go after the real estate agent or the person that sold you the house?
Yes.
You got bad advice. Very simple, cut and dried. I can guarantee you that the responsibility of whether you're on sewers or not on sewers is the previous homeowner, and believe it or not, the real estate agent who got their advice from the previous owner. Whoever the listing agent is, I don't know who that is, but trust me, this is a slam dunk.
Yeah, well, once again, if I'm, counselor, chair, well, both chairs, if I were to sell my house, there would be no question, if I were to be asked, am I on municipal water and sewer, I would say absolutely yes. We've been paying bill, the previous owner, the sewer on your MLS listing.
My advice is whatever you think it's worth, but trust me, I'm right.
Just one question, might be rhetorical in nature, but do you not find it odd that in the last 41 years, nobody did any septic maintenance?
Well, we haven't
If
done
you
it
did,
in 12 years.
I would find that odd that somebody that 41 years of stuff that goes into a septic tank wasn't either emptied or something done to maintain that system.
Yeah, well, Don Scott and Joe, the supervisor, who were there that day that found that it was not connected to the sewer, said, you have a great septic system. Because, we were there for 12 years. We never pumped it out. And I think Don said he's on a septic system which he pumps out every year or two. In actual fact, the old sunroom that we had that was on a cement pad was built over top of the septic tank. So probably when that was built, they didn't realize the septic tank was there.
I found that out too.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Platt, you have some information on this? We pass it.
Well, I just wanted to bring the committee up to date in terms of where, I guess, our offer to give you a little bit of a background, because we do recognize that it was a bill issued and the service wasn't provided. So if you allow me a few minutes here, just to very quickly, here's the two slides. Here's the property. It's in the, I'll say, older section of Uxbridge. The records show that the home was built in 1905. The records show the sanitary sewer was installed on Planks Lane in 1948. The property was purchased by Mr. Eckmeyer in 2003. I believe there was one sale of this property at least between the regional days, 1974, if you will, and 2003. If you'll notice the green line on the plan, the whole area is serviced by a sewer main. This 1948 sewer main, I take it. So I think in terms of real estate, just the very fact that it was serviced makes the property obviously a greater value than an unserviced area. But there is no question this one property in this whole area, hopefully it's one property in this whole area, that is not connected to the sewer system. Mr. Eckmeyer called us, we sent the works crew out, and it has been verified, so there's no question in terms of the connection. The regional policy calls for verification of non-connection and a refund to the customer once 6 months has, up to 6 years of the billings. That's the current regional policy. It doesn't happen very often, but it has happened, and you could say it happens once a year. It's a very, very unusual situation. The offer on the table to Mr. Eckmeyer is this. He does have to pay, according to regional policy, the sewer connection charge, which is $3,588. Our current policy, which I just listed as option 1, is to refund any of the bills for a 6-year period of, in this case, 09 to 15. we recognize in his particular situation that from day one when he moved in, probably he shouldn't have been billed since he's not connected. That amounts to the number up there, 2536. The pitch I made to Mr. Eckmeyer to be finance fair was to effectively waive both sides of the coin. We don't want you to be out of pocket to us in terms of the connection charge. To be fair to you, I would recommend that under option one, either $1,000 or under the current policy, approximately or just under 2,000, I would recommend for write-off, so that whatever happened prior to when you took over the property is anybody's guess. We recognize the fact that maybe there was some adjustment in the sales price, whatever the situation was, but between when you took over, your agreement with the region, we would just say, everything is whole, let's move on. That's the offer that I put on the table to Mr. Eckmeyer, and I would certainly recommend that to this committee in terms of moving this forward. It's a little bit more than what we would probably, I would suggest, normally take, but I think, as I mentioned, in terms of trying to be fair and to move it forward, that's what I would recommend.
Chair?
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Black, you've confused me. What are you proposing? That you waive the connection fee?
Yeah,
And
so
call it square?
Correct.
As opposed to giving him his $3,237.38.
No, as opposed to the regional policy, which would
No, I
have,
understand what he asked for, $3,200.
that's
As
correct.
opposed to giving what he thinks he's paid plus interest.
Correct.
You want to say, no, we're not going to give you any of that money back. We're just going to give you the sewer connection charge.
Well, it depends on how you look at it
Depends how
from
you
his
look at it,
position.
but that's what you're suggesting.
Correct.
And if he says no to that, then council could just turn around and say, well, fine, we'll give you, in your numbers, 2536.66 back. That's what you've paid us.
No, I think if this is refused, it's really option one is on the table, which is the current regional policy.
to do option two,
Or
or
no, I understand that. But
notwithstanding
then
the
council could turn around and say, well, if you don't want the 3588, we'll give you what you've paid back. And then you're responsible for the connection like everyone else.
Right, the three options are, option one is our policy, he would get $1,590 back, and he would have to pay $35.88. Option two is notwithstanding the policy, we'd have to make a motion to that effect, that he's gonna get the $25.36 back, but he has to pay the $35.88, but we're gonna call that even. We're not gonna give him 25, and he's not gonna give us 35, but he would still have to pay his own contractor the difference, which is what, another 3,400 or whatever.
So, I know we've had some of these in Ajax, in Pickering Village, actually, down around Mill Street, Jacqueline, somewhere around that area where people have been on septic for a long time. They just never hooked up. Have we done a review of the residents on Main Street? Do we know how many are actually connected? Do we not have connection?
Well, we believe that they're all connected. This is the only exception that fell through the cracks in terms of the records or what have you from 1974.
So, but there was no
I don't
record,
know.
there's no record of a connection on this house.
No, it was the works department went out, dug it up, and we know it wasn't connected, and there are no records.
That's
Either
it.
in the Township of Uxbridge office where we checked, or in our works area.
Would all the other houses on that street have connection permits?
There may not be a connection permit on file because of, it depends on the records that were turned over back in 1974, because this is an old, obviously, sewage main, sewer main.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll give you a motion that staff meet with the delegate again and offer him the waiving of the sewer connection fee as a all-in solution, failing which, that staff report back to the next secondary committee.
So notwithstanding the policy that staff meet with the delegate and call it even between the waiving of the sewer charge and the amount owed back to him from overbilling.
And if the gentleman says no, then bring it back to finance and we can look at his proposal.
Okay.
But I can tell you right now that I wouldn't give him any more than the sewer fee that he's paid. Maybe a little bit of interest, but
Any comments on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? That's carried. Yes, Councilor.
I'm wondering if you, Mr. Chair, get some clarity. We just spent a half an hour committee time on this. Is there not a different type of mechanism for dispute resolution or,
Actually, Commissioner Clapp has been working on resolving the issue, and when it doesn't get resolved to both parties, this is where it comes to. So that was the issue. Mr. Clapp made the offer of what you just heard, and council now has confirmed that, because after that offer was accepted, it would have still had to come back here because we had to waive the notwithstanding the policy. The delegate didn't accept that, so he came and presented his case. We are the Court of Appeal, so to speak, and we have decided that that's a fair offer, and that Mr. Clapp can discuss it further with the delegate, and we'll see what happens after that discussion.
thank you for that clarity, but again, I think.
I understand what you're saying, but that's the policy and how the route goes to get there, to give everybody their opportunity to come to us, to hear those things, and the staff to present it, and then we make those decisions.
Maybe a regional ombudsman might be a good idea.
Geez, I thought we were working on that, but anyway. Next delegation is Mr. A.J. Kehoe, Whitby resident, wishing to speak regarding the creation of a guide for how to communicate most effectively with Durham Region politicians.